Forget the ports you've already played on everything else. This year's Switch and Switch 2 are getting open-world games worth talking about from scratch. 10 of them starting now. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is already out on Switch and Switch 2, and if you haven't tried it yet, it's essentially the spiritual successor to the Budokai Tenkaichi series, with a massive roster and fights that look like they were ripped straight out of the anime. But Bandai Namco wasn't done. They've announced a major DLC called Super Limit Breaking Neo, adding over 30 new characters, 4 new stages, and a brand new game mode. Grandpa Gohan, Tao Pai Pai, Pecan, Chilai. For longtime fans, it's like running into someone you haven't seen in years. On top of that, everyone gets Chain Blast and Sparking. Boost for free, both of which shake up the combat in meaningful ways. Now, the annoying part. On Switch and Switch 2, this DLC arrives later than everywhere else. No specifics, just later date. Survival mode is also coming to Nintendo platforms separately, at some unspecified point. For Dragon Ball fans on Nintendo, this is a familiar story. Doesn't make it less frustrating.
Join me!
I'm on it, Sandman!
Don't you mock me! I'm gonna do it anymore.
Completely different vibe, Tanuki Pon Summer is a game about a Japanese summer, where you play as a lazy tanuki named Pon, who's taken a part-time job at the local post office. You get around town on a BMX bike, deliver packages to residents, join in on various activities, earn money, and try to restore an old Shinto shrine before the big summer festival. And you've got one in-game month to pull it off. The developers at Denki Works drew from their own experience living in Kyoto, Aomori, Sapporo, and Beppu, and it shows. The world feels like something observed rather than invented. The game was already pushed from 2025. After the demo, the team decided to seriously rework the navigation, character animations, and dialogue. There's still no release date, and a Switch 2 version hasn't been announced either. The demo was a little rough, but it showed something real. Whether they can carry that into the final release is the question.
We hope you'll enjoy the adventure together.
One of the most praised 3D platformers of the year is heading to Nintendo Switch, and it's called Demon Tides. Fabras, the studio behind Demon Turf, built a vast open ocean of dozens of islands and send you exploring them as beebs, with a flexible medallion system that literally changes how you move. Add an extra mid-air jump with no cooldown? Go ahead, rebuild your entire moveset and tackle the same stretch of level in a completely different way. That's kind of the point. Reviewers have compared the structure to Bowser's Fury and Wind Waker. Fair comparison, there's that same joy of finding a small island that turns out to be bigger than it looked. The PC version already launched to 96% positive reviews on Steam. The Switch Physical Edition comes through Fangamer and includes the original Demon Turf in the box. Great news if you missed it. One caveat, the PC version had occasional bugs and visual pop-in between islands. How polished the Switch port will be, we don't know yet.
Just maintain and keep it high for the nice goals. Don't beware stepping prideful with ice souls. Hit 'em like
Silver Palace is an anime-style action RPG in a Victorian setting from Silver Studio, the metropolis of Silvernia built in Unreal Engine 5. Fast-paced combat with character swapping, rooftop parkour, stealth sections, and open world. You play as a detective returning to a city that's changed since the discovery of a mysterious resource called Silvarium. It looks promising, and a beta test ran in early 2026. But here's the thing. A Switch version has not been officially confirmed by the developers. Several game databases listed on Nintendo platforms, but neither Silver Studio nor publisher Elementa have actually announced it. Most likely, those are just placeholder entries. There's no release date on any platform either. Keep an eye on this one, but don't count the Switch version as real until there's an official announcement. From a futuristic metropolis to a quiet seaside village. Out and About from Yaldi Games is a game about foraging for wild plants and fungi, cooking and slowly rebuilding the coastal town of Portobello after a storm. You're helping your gran, building relationships with the locals, and gradually turning a wrecked community back into something alive. The open world is split across several biomes: forests, meadows, coastline, peatlands. All 150+ recipes in the game are real, and the developers include step-by-step instructions for making them at home, a small detail that's actually kind of lovely. The game looks unassuming. Modest budget, simple visuals, no ambitions to dominate the market. On Switch, that's not a weakness. Games like this tend to find their people there. If you want something with a completely different energy, here's Killer Bean. Based on a cult internet phenomenon from the late 90s, a rogue assassin, Coffee Bean, going up against a shadow agency on a lawless open-world island, complete with factions, parkour, vehicles, and procedurally generated campaigns. It's a roguelike shooter in first and third person, developed entirely solo by Jeff Liu, the same person who made the original animated short films back in the day. That alone is a story worth following. The console version, including Switch, is planned for after the full PC release, which the developer estimates will take roughly 2 years of early access. So a Switch version in 2026 isn't happening. We're including it here because it's being built with Nintendo in mind and it's worth watching. Just be patient.
Take down the Shadow Agency! Well,
Nation powerful enough to shape the world. Until they lied to me and tried.
Rewilders: The Lost Spring is the next game from Hero Beat Studios, the team that won a BAFTA for Endling. Extinction is forever. You play as Abby, descending from an airship into poisoned biomes. Metroidvania-style exploration with a glider, grappling hook, and wall-running fast third-person combat mixing melee and ranged attacks, roguelite mechanics, and the Hantu system. Extinct creatures that come back to life as the world heals and fight alongside you in battle. The ecology angle isn't just a narrative backdrop, it's a game mechanic. You watch the world physically change based on what you do in it. The game was selected for the London Games Festival 2026, which is a solid signal for an indie. PC Early Access is planned for autumn, Switch and Switch 2 are confirmed target platforms, but there are no dates yet. Full release is aimed at 2027. Probably the most anticipated, and simultaneously the most nerve-wracking title on this list for Switch 2 owners. Tarnished Edition includes the base game and the Shadow of the Erdtree expansion, plus a handful of Switch 2 exclusives. New weapons, armor, and skins for Torrent. The road here hasn't been smooth. The game was already delayed once due to performance issues, and early Gamescom footage raised real concerns about frame rate. Legitimately so, there was plenty to worry about. More recent GDC 2026 previews sounded noticeably better, and Kadokawa confirmed the release is still on track for this year. A Canadian retailer floated July 10th as a potential date, but From Software hasn't confirmed anything. Worth repeating, this is a Switch 2 exclusive. The original Switch is not getting it.
I have no doubt you will become Elden Queen. That guide you through your burden.
This is one of the real surprises of the year, and not enough people are talking about it. Easy Delivery Company was made by one person. Behind the wheel of a small K-truck, you deliver packages around a snowy mountain town that looks like a quiet little village but is clearly hiding something. On PC, the game sold over 250,000 copies and holds 95% positive reviews, overwhelmingly positive. The highest tier on Steam. On Switch, it costs under $13. 3 areas to explore, truck upgrades, an original soundtrack of lo-fi, drum and bass, and jungle music. Nintendo Life wrote that the repetition here is strangely grounding and hard to put down. And that's the most accurate description you'll find. No Switch 2 enhancements announced, but for a game like this, none are needed. We're closing the list with the biggest announcement of the year. On the franchise's 30th anniversary, Game Freak revealed Pokémon Ones and Pokémon Waves, the 10th generation. The games are being developed exclusively for Switch 2 from the ground up. An open world of wind-swept islands, a living ocean, unique Pokémon ecosystems. The starters have already sparked fierce debate online. Some love them, some think they look too familiar. Fair enough. The main caveat, this is a 2027 game, and insiders say there won't be any further news in 2026 either. We're including it here not as part of this year, but because Game Freak is for the first time building a mainline entry specifically around a single piece of hardware without their usual time pressure. Whether they'll find a way to rush it anyway, well, that's the question, isn't it?